Howdy, folks. Once again, this is Donnie, and today we are going to take a look at, well, just a generalized look at how to properly back up your servers and why it is important to properly back up your servers. So, let's check it out. All right, so what we're looking at here is something that could result in a bit of a financial loss for a lot of people. And I say that it could because we don't know for sure yet. Things could still work out in the end, but at this point, on 6 January 2022, it's not looking good. But anyway, this has to do with the recent server crash, which has completely brought down the Expresscrypto microwallet service. Okay, so what's a microwallet service? Well, for those of you who don't know, it's just a service which can accept and store micropayments from various different crypto coin faucets, such as this one. And the way this works is that the faucet operators will create an account with the microwallet service, and they'll deposit their crypto there. And then when people come and perform certain tasks here at the faucet site, like looking at ads or doing surveys, going through short links, and maybe even watching some videos that have ads in them, then every time the user does that, the faucet site will deposit a fraction of a cent worth of crypto coin into the user's account on the microwallet service. Now, the advantage of that, of course, is that it can cut down fees for the faucet users because the faucet itself cannot just put these payments, these micropayments, out on the blockchain to send directly to the user's personal wallet. And that's because the network fees would be too expensive for that. And the alternative then would be for each one of these faucets to have their own internal wallets. They would just store up the crypto payments until they meet the threshold, for the user to be able to withdraw them. But the disadvantage of that, of course, is that then, it takes longer to build up to the threshold because you only have the one faucet depositing to them. But if you have a micro wallet, you can have a whole bunch of different faucets which will deposit into a user's account, and that way the withdrawal threshold can be met a lot faster, and which will allow the user then to withdraw the crypto to his or her own personal wallet, right? Now, still though, there are incentives for a person to not withdraw as soon as he or she meets that withdrawal threshold, because there's still, on all these micro wallet services, there's still a withdrawal fee in order to pay for the network fees, and it's a flat fee. So the more crypto that a person can withdraw at any one time, the more that the withdrawal fee will be mitigated, right? And also in the case of Expresscrypto, there were other incentives for keeping the crypto coin in the Expresscrypto wallets, because they also offered staking services. So that if you had proof of stake coins, you could just go ahead and stake them right there in Expresscrypto. And they also had a kind of a micro lending and savings account service for some of the crypto coins that cannot be staked. So people had a lot of incentive to just keep the coins there on the Expresscrypto wallet, which as it's turned out, very, very dangerous thing to do, right? but anyway, oh yeah, another thing too. You're probably saying, okay, these crypto faucets, they only pay out like a fraction of a cent every time. Well, you'd be surprised at how it can add up. If a person puts enough hours per day into playing with these crypto coin faucets, and especially if the person is willing to put up with some of the inconveniences of some of the higher paying features, like dealing with the pop-up advertisements that either try to get you to download malware or to buy into some sort of a scam, or that show you some sort of image which you don't want your family to see. If you're willing to put that much time into it and to be able to put up with that stuff, then yeah, you can make some coin off of this. I mean, you can, over a period of time, you can make like a few $100s. And if the prices of the coins that you collect goes up, which I've seen happen, that few $100s that you collect could turn into a few thousand. I mean, yeah, it happens. Trust me, it happens. But anyway, one of the sayings that the crypto coin people like to say is "not your keys, not your crypto." And so the hardcore crypto people, they really recommend that you not keep your crypto coin on any exchanges or on any third-party services, right? Any more than you have to. They always recommend just withdrawing them to your own personal wallet for security and safety. But anyway, back to Expresscrypto, okay? So Expresscrypto on 24 December, Christmas Eve, suffered a hardware failure on their database server. And so it says here, our database server currently cannot recognize the primary and backup disk. And of course, a better wording of that would be that the database server cannot currently recognize either the primary or the backup disk. But I mean, either way, they got a problem there, right? So they've got their database that the servers cannot read. Precisely why that is, I don't know, but my best guess is that it's probably got a corrupted file system on that drive. But, and that happens, right? But anyway, it says the entire Expresscrypto technical team is working on system recovery. Now, there are a lot of things that we don't know here for sure. And of course, we don't know for sure what operating system or is on the server or what database they're using or anything like that. But I mean, we could get a bit of a clue by doing an Nmap scan on it, but it doesn't really matter, right? But we can still make a bit of a guess about it. And my guess is that they are using, most likely, are using some sort of a free of charge Linux operating system with no support contract from anybody, right? Because, if they were dealing with a major vendor like Microsoft or Red Hat, most likely they would have somebody helping them set things up in such a way that this problem would never have happened. And I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But I'm also guessing that they are not hosting this website on any major web hosting service like Hostway or GoDaddy. And they're probably not using any sort of a major cloud service like Amazon Web Services, for example. Because, again, those major companies, if the website had been hosted on any of them, those companies also would have had people set things up in a way that would have prevented this from happening. Okay? And also, it tells me something else. And this is something I don't even have to guess at, because this is something I know for an absolute fact. And this is just that these people did not have any type of backup strategy for their servers. Okay? So it looks to me like they probably either set up the servers on premises, on company premises, or they might have used some sort of a mom and pop web hosting service, there in their local town. But either way, they set up the server and just did not bother with any type of a backup strategy. And they do say here that they have a primary and backup disks. And again, I don't know the exact setup there, but my guess is they probably either used a RAID 1 setup, which means two identical drives that mirror each other, so that whatever you write to one drive automatically gets replicated to the second drive, or they might be using a mirrored logical volume setup, which works the same as RAID 1, okay? But either way, I mean, that's fine for hardware failures, for an actual hardware failure. So if a hard drive were to just quit working, like the mechanics were to crash, or the electronics were to go bad, and the drive were to just quit working, then yeah, that would be great, because the second drive would come online and you'd be able to get by with just that one drive until you replaced the bad drive, right? But what if something happens that causes the file system to become corrupted? Well, that corruption would replicate to the backup drive, okay? And that's apparently what happened here. So these people then, they apparently, what it appears is that they just depended upon this, the fact that they have a primary drive and a backup drive as their sole means of backup. You can't do that. Let me emphasize again, you cannot do that. That's not going to guard against a corrupted file system. Or if you accidentally delete something, then it's not going to guard against that either. I mean, if you accidentally delete something from the primary drive, guess what? It's going to be deleted from the backup drive too, right? So, and listen, I got to tell you, if these people were working for me, I would not only fire them from this job, I would do my best to permanently ban them from the entire IT profession. And, because they have no business even touching a server of any kind, okay? They just don't. I'm sorry. But because this should not be allowed to happen. And listen, backup strategies, they're not rocket science, not even really an advanced topic in the field of IT. Because look over here. When people go into the IT profession, or when they first go into it, generally the first certifications they get are the CompTIA certifications. CompTIA has a really great set of entry-level certifications. One of the three certifications, there's the A+, the Network Plus, and the Security Plus. And generally people get them then in that order. A+ is for general computer hardware knowledge. Network Plus is for general networking knowledge. And Security Plus is for general security knowledge, of course, right? But anyway, one of the things that you will learn when you study for your Security Plus certification is about backup strategies. So there's an entire chapter in pretty much any Security Plus book that you'll ever pick up about backup strategies. And it's more than just copying your stuff over to a backup drive. Okay, I mean, what you got to do is basically you have kind of like a rotating system where you do different types of backups every day. Like maybe once a week you'll do a full backup of your drive, and then on a daily basis you'll do an incremental backup, which will just back up the stuff that's changed. And that way you always have a backup of the most recent stuff. And so and then also you've got to test those backups. Okay, you got to test them in order to make sure that they are good, because sometimes your backup media might go bad, or you might perform a backup and find out that maybe you had a corrupted file system or corrupted files, or maybe not everything is there, right? So you got to test the backups and have a good backup strategy, right? And also you don't want to just depend on hard drives or solid state drives. They can go bad. There's still a place for the old-fashioned tape drives, right? And in fact, IBM, I haven't looked that up, but you can look it up for yourself if you want. But IBM has a really fantastic up-to-date tape drive system for backups, which really brings the world of tape backup, or really brings a tape backup technology up into the 21st century. So it's really great. That pretty much covers it for that, I think. Again, let's get back over to here. Anyway, updates. On 12/28, they transferred the hard disks to a special recovery company. And on 12/29, December 29th, the special recovery company is working on the restoration of both disks. Okay, so again, this tells me that they had a corrupted file system. And a lot of things that could cause a file system on a hard drive to become corrupted. And you could maybe there was a power failure. Maybe they got some malware. And yes, there is such a thing as Linux malware, contrary to popular opinion. Not viruses, okay? Not viruses. They're the one thing that don't infect Linux, but there are other types of malware that will affect it. And then, of course, due to the holidays, there's no update to the company or from the company. But anyway, yeah. Something else I forgot to show you. And I forgot to even look it up here. So let's do that. Okay, so the Einstein at Home project. This is another project that several years ago also suffered a server crash. In this case, though, they did have a server crash from a corrupted file system. And this is another thing that could cause a file system to become corrupted is maybe bugs in the file system software. And in this case, they were using Linux-based computers, and with their hard drives formatted with the XFS file system. What they did not know is that at the time there was a bug in the XFS file system which would cause the servers to crash if the disk were to become too full. right? And so, and it's just a common thing, right? The way Linux operating systems work is that once the root partition becomes too full, the operating system will quit working, right? And then you'll need to take the disk offline, delete some stuff in order to get the machine to boot back up again properly, right? But in this case, they did have the drives partitioned off in such a way that it kept the root partition from becoming too full, but the other partition, which held the Einstein at Home database, became too full. So that also, because of the XFS system file system bug, that caused the server to crash, right? And even deleting stuff, from that partition because of the bug would not allow the machine to boot back up again. Fortunately, that was not a big problem for the Einstein at Home people because they had proper backup strategies. So they just basically rebuilt the server, and they found out they could apply some patches which corrected that XFS bug. Actually, I don't know, they might have reported the bug. I don't remember the exact details of it. They might have reported it and gotten it fixed. But anyway, at any rate, they reinstalled the operating system, got the up-to-date XFS code that would not have this bug, and they just restored all the databases from their backup media. Okay, worked great. But again, the Expresscrypto people, they did not do that, right? So they had to transfer the hard disk to that special recovery company. In this particular case, the fact that they had to transfer the hard disk to a special recovery company meant that they really, really, really screwed up. Okay? And there are a lot of different recovery companies here that you can deal with. Sometimes you will have problems which aren't your fault, but in this case, it was definitely the fault of the Expresscrypto people that they have to make use of one of these services. Again, if they would have had a proper backup strategy, if they just would have done a lot more than just rely on the fact that they have a primary drive and a backup drive, they would not have had this problem. Okay, so at this point, their service has been down for 2 weeks. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow that it has been down, right? And so that's representing a financial loss to all of the faucet operators which depend upon the Expresscrypto service. And if they do not come back, that could result in a loss of anywhere from a few dollars to anywhere to several $100s, maybe, possibly, or maybe thousands. I don't know. I don't know how much crypto individual people have on the Expresscrypto service, but it could result in a loss for them. And let me tell you, if they do come back, I'm hoping that people will be smart enough to just do some massive withdrawals, just withdraw everything here from Expresscrypto, get them into their personal wallets. I mean, that's what I plan to do because I have to confess I got a little bit there myself, okay? Yeah, okay. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. The lesson, the bottom line, as I said, if you are in the IT business, you are in charge of maintaining servers. I don't care if they're Windows servers, Linux servers, Unix servers, BSD servers, whatever. Have a proper backup strategy. Do not just depend on having a primary and a backup drive to save your bacon. Okay? All right, so that's pretty much it. And the other thing here I want to show you is that this video has been brought to you by me and my books. My 2 books now, Mastering Linux Security and Hardening, and also Linux Service Management Made Easy with Systemd. This one is a brand new book I just brought out, okay? It's not officially been published yet. That won't be until 3 February, which is just a few weeks from now. 3 February 2022, I should say, in case anybody sees this video in the future. But right now, you can get the early access version of the ebook. And right now, Packt Publishing, my publisher, is in the middle of their annual $5 sale. So you can either get this book or Mastering Linux Security and Hardening, my first book, or any other book on the entire website for only $5 in your choice of ebook format, okay? And if you need a print copy of the book, you can order that too. You can order a print copy of the Linux Service Management book, and it will arrive sometime in February after the official publication date, okay? The Linux Service Management book with Systemd, that is very, very unique because it is the first book in the history of mankind which does a comprehensive coverage of the whole Systemd ecosystem. So pick up a copy of that. I think you'll enjoy it. And of course, Mastering Security and Hardening. Lots of very good techniques there. Lots of good hands-on techniques that you can use in order to set your servers up in a secure manner. So be sure to check them out. I will have the purchase links for both of them in the video description below. By the way, the Packt Publishing website here never states when the $5 sale will end, but I happen to know, because I have insider knowledge, that the sale will end on 15 January 2022. So if you want to get your ebooks for only $5, do them real soon before 15 January. So that's only about a week or so off, right? So anyway, that's all I got for now. Be sure to like and subscribe. Like the video and subscribe. That helps get the video out to a lot more people. It tells the YouTube algorithms that people want to see my stuff. So, other than that, I think that's about it. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.